Hello, good afternoon to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well and I hope all of you are safe. So, in today's class, we'll discuss enumeration. Okay, so enumeration is a data type in C++ that allows for associating integer value with the named value. Again, I'll repeat it. Enumeration is a data type in C++ that allows for association of integer value with the named value. Okay, for an example, in a classroom, whenever a teacher calls for your attendance, the teacher uses the reference of roll number against the name or names of the student, because calling out the names of the students may be time consuming compared to that of calling out the numbers, right? So that is the reason why what we do is we use enumeration. So enumeration, the way how enumeration declaration is done is you have enum keyword, okay, and the enumeration name, okay, and the list of values that the variables of the enumeration type may take in, and the variable list. Now this can be declared elsewhere as well. Now here enumeration color can be either red, green, and blue, and variable C. So variable C can take any value in between red, green, and blue. So here C is initialized with blue. Now one of the properties of enumeration is that whenever you list the set of values, each and every value is associated with an integer value. So by default, the integer value starts from 0. So red is assigned integer value 0, green is assigned integer value 1, blue is assigned integer value 2. So here C can be initialized with any of the named values here, or C can be initialized with an integer value pertaining to a given named value, right? Now here in situation where if you assign 1 to red, so you can explicitly assign integer value with the enumeration values as well. So if we assign 1 to red, then green and blue will be automatically assigned with 2 and 3. So subsequent values will be given assigned with subsequent integer values, right? So if red is assigned with 1, then green and blue will be assigned with 2 and 3. If red is there, so consider this particular example here. Red is assigned with value 0. Now green is assigned value 5. Now blue will be assigned value 6, because blue is preceding green. So that is the way how enumeration basically works. So enumeration is the process of associating an integer value with the named value. So you have the set of list of enumeration values, and out of those values, the enumeration variable can take any one of the values. So what you can do is you can initialize enumeration variable with either the value or the integer values associated with that particular value. Okay, by default enumeration starts from 0, but what you can do is you can start from an arbitrary number, and the subsequent values in the enumeration list will be assigned the subsequent values. Now, this is the way how enumeration data type basically works. Now, let us try to focus on some of the special operators that are there in C++. Now, first one is called a scope resolution operator. Now, scope resolution operator is represented with the help of a pair of colons. So, it's represented with the help of two colons, right? Okay. Now, it is used for varied purposes. So, the scope resolution operator is used for varied purposes. The first purpose for which the scope resolution operator is used is to access global variable when there is a local variable with the same name. Now just see here, I've listed it as program 5, so you need to execute this particular program and see what will be the output of this particular program. Now just see here, what we have is we have a global variable x being declared outside main function, right? Okay, and we have a local variable x as well, that is 10. So in case if a local variable is there by the same name as that of global variable, always the local variable will be given preference over global variable. So whenever I print this particular statement value of local x, so it will print 10, right? Now if I want to print the global variable, or the value of the global variable x inside main, then what you need to do is you need to use the scope resolution operator. So what it will do is it will give you the value of the global x instead of local x in main. So here it will give you 0, and this will give you 10. So this is one of the purpose for which scope resolution operator is used in C++, right, to access the global variable when there is a local variable by the same name. So if you execute this particular program, the first statement will give you 0 and the second statement will give you 10. Now let us consider the next purpose for which the scope resolution is used. Scope resolution is used in order to define a function outside a class. If you remember, in the previous class we have previous class we have taken up an example where you have defined the function outside the class. So here what we have done is we have defined the function outside the class. So here we have a class A and we have a function by the name fun that is defined in the public section of class A. Now here we are not defining the function or the fun function inside the class, rather we are defining it outside the class. So how do we do it? So we specify the return type of the function, we specify the class name, and we specify the scope resolution operator, and then the function name. It basically means this fun function belongs to class A, right? Okay. So this is the second purpose for which what we do is we use scope resolution operator. So scope resolution operator is also used in order to define a class, define a function outside a particular class. Now the next purpose for which what we use scope resolution operator is for to access a class static variable. Now it has been listed in program 7. So hello, here what we have done is we have taken up a class test, right? Okay, so here what we have is we have static variable x that's declared as static, so static int x, and we have static int y, okay, and we have a function by the name func that's capable of taking in an integer value, and it's capable of displaying the content, displaying the value of the variable, right? And the return type of the function is void. So here the func is a function that is defined inside the class. So whenever you're defining a function inside the class, what you need not do is you need not specify the scope resolution operator as in case of the previous one. Now here just see what we have done is we have assigned a value 1 to the static variable x and 2 to static variable y. Now just see, this is the way how the static variables are assigned. So we have assigned 1 to x and 2 to y. Now in main function what we have done is we have declared an object of type test. So obj is object of type test, and we have declared a variable x which has value 3. Now what I'm doing is using the object, I'm calling a function that is defined inside the class by passing x. So here the value of x is 3. Here the value of x is 3, so this 3 will be passed to func. Okay, this 3 will be passed to func, so this x will take the value 3. Now what I'm doing is I'm printing the value of static x. So static x that belongs to test. So static x that belongs to test has been assigned with value 1. So here what it will do, it will print 1. So this particular statement will print 1 because the static variable belonging to class test has been assigned value 1. Okay, right? So it will print 1. Now see out value of local x. So local x, what I've done, I have passed the value 3. So this 3 will be received by this x, and then what I'm doing is I'm printing the value of x. So this statement will print 3. So this statement will print 1 because we're printing the static variable, and this statement will print 3 because we are printing the local variable. And then what we are doing is we're printing the static variable y that is belonging to test. So here, since y is initialized with 2, so it will print value 2. So this is the way how this particular program will work. So here scope resolution operator is used in order to access the value of the static variable belonging to a particular class. So this is the third reason or third way in which you can use static variable. So the first way is to access the global variable, second one is to define function belonging to a particular class, and third one is to access static variable belonging to a particular class. Now the fourth reason why we make use of scope resolution operator is the in case of multiple inheritance. So now just see here, if same variable name exists in two ancestor classes, we can use scope resolution operator to distinguish between them. So here what we have is we have two classes A and B, right? So here what we have is we have protected member in that is X in A, we have protected member again with the same name in B, right? Again, and we have public function A in class A and public function B in class B. So now this is the program number 8 that you have to execute. Okay, so you will see. So here what I've done is I have created a class C, right? I have created new class C that is derived from A and B. That means that is publicly derived from A and B. So this basically means I have derived a new class C from A and B, and that's a public derivation. So here just see what I've done is I've defined a function fun inside C that prints the value of A and B. Okay, right? So here what I'm doing is I'm writing C out a is x and b is x. So here just see a scope resolution x basically means here I am trying to print the value of variable x belonging to a, and here I'm trying to print value of x belonging to b. So here the value of x belonging to a is 10 and value of x belonging to b is 20. So here the first statement will print 10 and the second statement will print 20. So this is one of the reason where this is one of the way how we can use scope resolution operator, that is to distinguish between variables having same name in case of multiple inheritance, where a class has more than one base class and the base class have variables with the same name. Okay, right? So this is one of the ways how we can use scope resolution operator. Right now, it is the fifth use of scope resolution operator is to refer to a class inside another class. Right? Okay, so if you want to refer to a class inside another class, what you can do is you can use scope resolution operator again. So this is program number 9 that you have to execute. So if a class exists inside another class, we can use the nesting of classes to refer to the nested class using the scope resolution operator. Now just see here what we have is we have a class name outside, okay, right, which has a public member x, and we have a class name inside which has public member x, static member y, and a function foo, right? Okay, so now here what I've done is I have assigned a value 5 to variable y of class inside which belongs to outside. Okay, just see that's the way how it has to be written. Okay, it has to be written. So just see here y is a variable of class inside, which is a static variable of inside which belongs to class outside. Okay, and it's of type integer, and since it's static, so I've assigned value 5. Now in main function what I've done is I have declared a variable of type outside, that object of type outside a, right? Okay, an object b of type inside, which is inside outside, right? The outside class, right? So here what I've done is I've used the scope resolution operator. So this is the fifth purpose for which what we can do is we can use scope resolution operator. So now what we have learned about is we have learned about the different ways in which what we can do is we can use scope resolution operator, right? Okay, so the first use of scope resolution operator is to access global variable. When there is a local variable by the same name, you can use scope resolution operator for defining a function outside the class. You can use scope resolution operator to access the static members of a particular class, right? You can use scope resolution operator in case of multiple inheritance, where there is a variable by the same name in the different base classes that are there. Okay, so what we're there in order to distinguish between the variable belonging to different base class, what you can do is you can use scope resolution operator, right? And you can use scope resolution operator in order to refer to a class inside another class, right? So these are the very purpose for which what we can do is we can use scope resolution operator. So in this class what we have learned about is we have learned about only the scope resolution operator and the importance of the scope resolution operator and the different ways in which scope resolution operator can be used. So all of you, what you can do is you can write the programs and execute it and see what will be the output of the individual programs. Okay, so thank you very much. We'll continue in the next class.